I remember standing in line at a Starbucks. It was a Sunday afternoon, just a few miles up the road. I remember standing there with the group of young people. This is where I was studying to be a youth pastor. As I stood there looking up at the menu, trying to decide what I'm going to order next, I saw standing behind me in line was a young woman. And I recognized her immediately. Normally, she had a big smile plastered all over her face. But tonight, she appeared to be distraught, kind of gloomy. As I paid for my drink, I took an extra $5 bill, gave it to the cashier and said, "Do you see that young woman standing behind me in a red dress? This is to pay for her drink." And then I walked away. You see, before that night at Starbucks, I heard about a Wisconsin businessman, Mr. Joe Sweeney. Now, he taught me to set wild and audacious goals. Never fly alone, but what I really like about him is that on his way to work, he goes to his favorite coffee shop, buys a cup for himself, then leaves $2 or $3 with the cashier to pay for the person staying in line behind him. What I really like even more, his anecdotes, where he is being stocked with overjoyed customers with their free gifts of coffee, thanking him profusely for that free gift. And I thought, it worked for Joe, it's gonna work for me. Now imagine my surprise when the young woman received the gift of free coffee and then walked away and sat in a corner of the Starbucks for the rest of the night without saying a word. I felt like a fool. It didn't work! Friends, have you ever tried to find happiness in all the wrong places? Am I the only one? Well, my story starts 20 years ago. I set out my life right in front of me and was thinking to myself, everything's going to be fantastic. I got into college of my dreams, got a bachelor's degree, master's degree, second master's degree. Why not? Until it happened. Category 5 storm in my life. My business, my home, my marriage, gone. I remember darkness coming over me. And all I really wanted to do, just crawl back into a little dark room and never get out. I remember my friend who gave me a couch to sleep on because I was homeless said, "Mark, sometimes you have to lose everything to find out who you really are." He also gave me a book by Dr. Viktor Frankl, a famous psychologist who is a Holocaust survivor, who wrote a book, Man's Search for Meaning. Dr. Frankl wrote, "Everything can be taken away from a man except the very last of human freedoms, to choose our attitude in any set of circumstances, to choose our own way." At that point in my life, I had nothing else to lose. So I decided to volunteer and travel to the Pacific Northwest and actually become a builder, build houses for families in need. I traveled across the country and I had to stay for the duration of my assignment with a host family. Now this host family lived on the edge of poverty with 5 kids in a 2-bedroom apartment. And they opened their home to me so I can stay with them. I remember waking up at some ungodly hour, traveling to the outskirts of town, working in the frigid temperatures outside, helping to build houses. And for the very first time in my life, I found happiness. Now this family took me to birthday parties, barbecues, anniversaries. One day, we were able to get to the top of the Cascade Mountains. I remember the majestic Pacific Ocean was just to my left. Canadian Rockies were just ahead as we were sitting around the fire. I turned around and I asked the mother of the host family, why did you open up your home to me? I'm a stranger, you've never seen me before in your life and probably never see me again. She looked at me and said, Mark, sometimes life will hurt you more than you ever think is fair. Sometimes people lose their way. But we believe everyone deserves a second chance. And that's why we believe in you. As we descended down from the mountaintop, my eyes began to show tears. You see, this family who had nothing gave me everything. Because up to that point in my life, all I had were just things put in boxes, things I didn't need, purchased with money I didn't have, to impress people I didn't like. This family showed me that happiness cannot be purchased for $5, $10, or any amount of dollars. All we really have is just a choice in how we feel, how we act, and hopefully it's some people around us who believe in us and can show us a better way. Clearly, I'm not an expert. I am a student of life. But do you remember that girl from Starbucks earlier in the story? Well, I met her again. And this time I met her in the park. But this time she came up to me and inside her big blue eyes, I saw joy. And she said, Mark, do you remember that night at Starbucks a few weeks ago? Yeah, I do. Well, that was the end of a difficult and challenging week for me. I was at my end of my rope, with my wit's end, and then I got a gift of free coffee. That made my day. Thanks! And then she ran away again. As I stood there, humbled, in silence, I realized I still don't know how to find happiness. All I really know how to do is just to observe life and give my best every day. Henry Thoreau said it best. Happiness is like a butterfly. The more you chase it, the more it will elude you. But when you stop and turn your attention to other things, it will come back and land softly on your shoulder.